everyone, especially Mr. Roldan Ardines. We are group 2 in we are here to discuss about private versus public digital self. But before we start, we have a disclaimer. Our instructor is allowing our group to use this as an educational purpose only. So, let's start. Learning objectives. Number 1, to understand what digital self is about. Number 2, to deeply understand what is private self. Number 3, be able to recognize what is the importances of private self. Number 4, to clearly understand the public digital self. Number 5, to be able to recognize what is the importances of public digital self. Number 6, to deeply understand the differences of private self and public digital self. And lastly, to clearly understand why you should know your private self and public digital self.
Private self. So, private self is when people become aware of some elements of themselves, but only in a private way. This form of awareness occurs seeing oneself in the mirror, for instances, is an instance of self-awareness. Like example, you discovered that you get annoyed to people who are more higher than you. That is one example of private self-awareness. Or you feeling lurch in your stomach when you forgot to study for an important test is another example of self-awareness or private self-awareness. And if you feel your heart flutter if you saw someone that you're attracted to is an example of private self-awareness. So,
For me guys, kayang private self is nang unsa jud imong true self, kung unsa jud ka wala nimo giba-show sa public, baka nang wala nimo show sa public, baka nang ikaw ra nakaibaw, ikaw ra nakaila, like hide kayo ba, hide imong personalities, sa imong ikaw rin nakaila sa imong personal emotions, imong morals, imong mga gusto nga ikaw rin yun nakabaw. Mao na ang private self.
Importance of private self. Private self-consciousness is linked to easier access to one's own knowledge as well as a stronger curiosity in learning new things about oneself. Whether or not those things are good, those who have high levels of private self-consciousness therefore exhibit more self-aware conduct.
The private self is a crucial component of our individual identities since it symbolizes our deepest aspirations, anxieties, and ideas that we may not always express to others. The importance of the private self can be seen in the following ways. First is personal development. The private self offers a place for introspection and personal development. It enables us to examine our past, present, and values in order to understand who we are. Independence and anatomy both depend on our sense of the private self. It enables us to live our lives independently without external pressure and to make our own judgments. Authenticity. Our authenticity comes from our innermost selves. It is a place where we can be authentic and express ourselves.
Public digital self. The online character you present us. Others have a single online self that is roughly the same as the one they occupy in the real world, while some people retain one or more online identities that is separate from their real world selves.
Benefit of having a public digital self is that it allows to us to meet new people. My explanation of this topic is through social media or the internet, makamit kag lain-lain nga tao, and it is also a way for you to communicate with your loved ones or yung mga friends ba. Yeah, ang layo sa imuha or nag-abroad.
Demonstrate our true personalities, as well as how we respond to different situations. We all know that daghan jud ang advantage o disadvantage sa social media, but the social media is also a way to express our feelings through sharing our mga posts sa FB kung na-goal ka o posted ka sa imong gibati sa Facebook para mapagawas nimo imong mga yungo sa kinabuhi. That's all.
Importance of public digital self. The benefits of having a public digital self is that it allows us to meet new people and demonstrate our true personalities, as well as how we respond to different situations.
Importance of public digital self. Allow us to meet new people and demonstrate our true personalities, as well as how we respond to different situations. Once you go online as your real self, using your own name or appearance, you have an online presence that can be traced back to you in real world.
Important of knowing your public self or your private self. It boosts our confidence, which enable us to make better decisions and speak with greater clarity and purpose. It enables us to view things for a variety of angles. Our perception and biases are liberated. Our interpersonal relationships.
Important of knowing your public self or your private self. As we grow, there is a need for us to deeply examine and understand ourselves in both public and private aspects in our lives. Like basically, as human, we tend to adapt man based on our surroundings. Notice that sometimes our personality or our mood change wherever we're out with our friends, and mag-change sad siya when we're by ourselves lang. So, in that aspect, we try to analyze our action and reflect on it so that makibauta if sakto ba or what. It helps us better understand our actions, which will form part of our growth as an individual.